Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for Daybreakers. It's a movie starring Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe, and Sam Neill. Sam Neill you might remember from, the good Jurassic Park movies. Anyhow, so, as always, I'm going to need the good, the bad, and the furry. To start off the furry, if you like bats, or bat-like creatures, you're in luck. If you like any other creatures, move along. So, this movie is a really interesting premise that I think they deliver very, very well. So, thumbs up, but please keep watching. So, this movie, the premise of it is that 10-ish years ago, the vampire virus started spreading, and basically everybody decided to become a vampire to the point where it's basically illegal to be a human. Humans are hunted just for food supply, just to, make them into blood banks, basically. And so everybody is a vampire here, but then you're probably thinking this right now. Well, if everybody's a vampire and they eat humans, what are they going to do when they run out of humans? Exactly. And that's exactly what they're learning, is that, oh shit, even with the blood bank humans that we've captured, we don't have enough humans to feed everybody. And bad things happen when vampires don't get fed human blood. So this movie is just fantastic. It follows our main character, which is Ethan Hawke, and he's a guy trying to solve this problem, but he's also trying to help the humans. He doesn't drink human blood as other people do, or as other vampires do, because he's squeamish about that, and it's clear that he has just a different philosophy on things, but he's trying to solve this problem to save, the world. And it has some other people in it, and I think that the introduction of them and how they go about it, I think, is more fun than me telling you. So what I will say is that if you like my description so far, I think you'll like this movie. It doesn't have a huge amount of action, but it does have some good action in it. And it does have some really good, vampire-y explosions just of, blood. If you remember, sort of like True Blood, how when the vampires die, they sort of explode. There's a bit of that, and they do it really well. It's not overly grotesque. It's not Saw level, but it's definitely just oh, look at all that blood. But it's not gory for the sake of gory, if you know what I mean. And also, I thought they did a really, really good job of the color palette here, or the color correction, probably. Because, and this movie, when the vampires, and it's at night and it's on screen, there is almost no color. It's so drained of color, and they do a good job of not having anything that would be colorful on screen. So basically, it's all very blue lighting, not blue, but a higher Kelvin, so it's not the warm yellow glow of your average home lighting. It's very blue Kelvin lighting, and then everybody's wearing black or white, so those colors there's just not a whole lot of color. And even the blood is a little bit darker because it's in if you see it, it's in bags. And so they do a really good job of that. And then when you see humans or you see daylight, the color palette just shifts so much that it definitely gives you a different perspective of so this is what it's like. And I think that they do a really, really good job of implementing that, because once you see it, you're oh, that's so good. But it's not slapping you in the face with it in a bad way. I think that they do just enough with the set design and the costumes and how things are set up that it's not when you're viewing the vampire thing that you're missing that color. You're not missing it. But once you do have that color, you feel that change, which is important, I think, for where they are in the story. So I think they do that really well. Ethan Hawke is a terrific actor, knocks it out of the park as always. Willem Dafoe, love him to death. This was an excellent movie for him. I think that it really works with his style. And Sam Neill is fantastic. I haven't seen him in a whole lot of things that I can remember, but I really like seeing him in this. So hopefully I can find some other movies with him in it that I enjoy. But I definitely enjoyed this one. And the music was fine. Didn't stand out in any particular way. The other supporting characters were all fine. The storyline was good. The pacing was good. How things came about, and there wasn't, it's not there was a bunch of jump scares, so it's not that type of vampire movie where there's just a bunch of raw, just vampires slaying people, whatever. It's not necessarily that type of movie, because think about it. does grandma, whoever, or your niece or your nephew or the newscasters, are they out slaying people? No. If they're a vampire, they're probably also not out slaying people. So this was a really interesting exploration of a world where humans are in short supply for a vampire world and what can be done about that. So I definitely recommend it if you like the description so far. So that's really all I have for this one. Hopefully you've seen it. If you have seen it, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. And if you think of another movie that is, an interesting take on a world with an interesting premise, if you will, like The Purge, which also had Ethan Hawke in it. Something like that. Let me know a good movie in the comments down below. That's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.